everyone's happy. The car's gonna run. So I'm gonna have a Jetta R in the end of everything. I think once it's done, it's gonna be the only one in the world. Nobody's done this. My name's Sahil Rashid Mir. So lucky for me, right after I got the license, university starts. Dad doesn't have anybody, he doesn't have the time to drop me off to uni. Had to buy me a car, bought the slowest car available in the market, the Jetta, Volkswagen Jetta. I'm looking at the specs of the car, going through the spec sheet in the showroom. Okay, 115 horsepower. So, okay, what can I do? Then I'm looking at the 2 liters and I see the Golf's 2 liters. So I thought, okay, maybe there's some relation between both of them. Maybe I can get a turbo upgrade kit in the future for it. So the next service came up. Go to the Volkswagen showroom, sit with the agent. Sorry, sir, we don't do turbo upgrades for non-turbo cars. Fine, aftermarket industry. So when I started searching about this 115 horsepower Jetta, nothing available, because outside market they have more powerful Jettas. They have like the 2.5 GLI, even the TSI turbo Jettas. So nothing available in the market. Much later. So what happened is my dad had bought another garage in Rasulpur, and when I visited there, they had a red car standing on jack mounts, those solid jack mounts without tires. And I saw it there, the car, for a while. And one day I asked the guy, the manager over there, what is this? He's like, the guy just wanted us to remove the wheels and take it for painting and bring the wheels back. No job required on the car. So apparently that guy ran away. He took the wheels. I don't know what he did with the wheels, but he's not in the country anymore. So I was like, yeah, that's my car now. I was working with another guy at that time. I shouldn't take his name. Let's call him R. Filipino guy, R. So I asked R, can we do this? Can we do a swap? He's like, yes, 100% we can do a swap. And then he left the garage after a couple of months. He decided to leave us. He left the garage. Few months later, we kind of ended up in a situation where we had no jobs in the garage. Like, all my mechanics are sitting like this down, and every day asking me, sir, anything to do, any job, any cars coming. We had nothing. So they saw this Golf R. They're like, let's do this. We didn't think too much to start with. I was like, okay, let's do brake disc and pads first. So because this is my only car that I drive. I don't have any other car. And we opened the brake discs. We kind of put it in on the Jetta. They wouldn't fit. So my mechanic was like, oh, now you have to do the hubs as well, because only on the Golf R hubs is the disc fitting. Let's do the hubs. The hubs are not fitting in right. Why? Because I need the subframe as well. Open the subframe, put the subframe. Still the car is not in balance. Why? Because the rear subframe has a differential on the Golf. So I must do the diff swap as well. So I did the diff swap. Put the diff there, everything is balanced, fit tight, the car wouldn't run still. Why? Because the hubs were too wobbly, because they needed the support from the axle from the diff. Put that in, still the car wouldn't move. Why? Because the diff was electric and it needed a signal from a Golf R ECU to even activate. So the car wouldn't move. I felt like I'm pulling a container with my Jetta. Okay, what next? Let's do the engine swap as well. Put down the engine. So I'm saying these things quite quick, but this is a span of like 2 months. We're trying to figure out things, and okay, put the engine in. So these new car systems, they're quite secure. Immobilizer connected to hundreds of different things. They have like security codes and I don't know, 2025 modules, and just doesn't happen. Just one system connect and doesn't work. Everything has to work together. At this point, we had ripped apart the Golf R completely. Like, it was bare shell and the chassis sitting in one corner, and all the part on the Jetta. Still the car wouldn't start. Didn't know what to do. Had to change the interior as well, because the MK6 and the MK7 wiring harness didn't match at all. Swapped everything on the Jetta, still wouldn't start. I thought, let's buy a full key with all the modules one time. Luckily happened to find everything together for 5k. Bought that, fit in the car started. Still there were issues. The gear wouldn't shift. Need to program the new chassis number into the gear. A lot of security issues. Found some people around UAE to kind of online program that stuff for me. Finished everything, started the car. out for a test drive. Car started making mad vibrations, like tuck 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 tuck, all over the place. And brought it back into the garage. The drive shaft came off. Put the drive shaft back, it wouldn't sit because it was extended. What to do? Try to put coupler, spacer on the diff, make it fit, make everything fit. Everything fit right. Again, there's vibration. Got in the machine shop guys. They took some measurements, got them a strong universal joint, cut the shaft in between, added extra material, made it longer, made it fit. Everything works perfectly fine. Final touches. The car's gone for upholstery work. Take another week or something. Quietly, without showing anything, take it to the RTA passing. Passes. Everyone's happy. The car's gonna run. So I'm gonna have a Jetta R in the end of everything. I think once it's done, it's gonna be the only one in the world. Nobody's done this because the car was not. People didn't find it worth it enough to work so much on a standard Jetta. Why Jetta? Because having the car for so long, I felt like it's an amazing car. It's in terms of quality. Whatever other cars you drive, it doesn't give you this kind of a quality feel that the Volkswagen gives you, even though it's not an expensive car. It's the lowest end Volkswagen. It gives you this premium quality feel at a really good price. So I think the only thing that lacks is the performance. And if you get like a decent spec Jetta, you also have decent enough wheels on it, wide enough wheels for grips and everything. So I thought that having a little bit performance upgrade would just make this car perfect. How I got involved into cars is completely very different. I was studying in kindergarten starters. The building in front of French Bakery. It's called Sheikh Rashid Building. It's a wide ass building still there. So I used to stay there, and my bus picks me up, and the second stop of that bus was somewhere where City Walk is now. So City Walk is a very new setup. Years ago, like 25 years ago, there was like small old houses over there, and the bus used to pick up this kid called Faris. There's a kid called Faris. So he used to come and sit next to me. This is back when I'm in KG2, and he used to point out at cars. So his dad had a E320. So his dad had that, and he used to talk to me about the key fob, the folding key fob, and sunroof button, and opening the sunroof, and those sort of things. From there, I started sharing my car knowledge, whatever I have when I'm 4 years old. And then we started playing this stupid game. Like, if I talk about it right now, it's really stupid. But for a kid who's 4 year old, what more can we do? We used to imagine that we're driving a car right next to the school bus all the way to the school. That's really where I picked up my interest with cars back when I was 4 years old. Then started slowly getting exposed to certain magazines, come across something, walk by a supermarket, see a magazine full of cars. I'm like, shit, I need this. So this is how you satisfy your hobby when you have no other sources. But now when you come to realize that there is shit tons lots in the car, it's just crazy. You can never stop learning about cars. There's so much to it. Back then, when I started searching about cars, I think that's the max that I would get to how an engine works, how a gearbox works. But then when you get into engineering, when you start knowing certain terms, so yeah, with the interest in cars also grew interest in figuring out how they work, how they run. When I reached 15 years old, I had a dream of manufacturing a car with my name, my everything, my design, have it out in the market, put a price tag on it, test it out, sell it to the public. That was my dream back then, because then you're small, yeah, you don't know what goes into car manufacturing. You didn't even know what goes into registering a car in the Y. Still holding on to that dream. Hopefully can reach there one day.